What's up everyone, NPC Guy Gaming here, and we are kicking off a new series for the channel as I join my first ever Group Dynasty with my friends in College Football 26. We are rebuilding teams on All-American difficulty. I've locked in my choice with Coastal Carolina. Other teams you might see are UTSA, Bowling Green, Boise, and a few others. In total, it's about an 8-person dynasty as we are all going to be racing to that national championship and recruiting against each other to try and build the best classes possible. So this week, you're going to be seeing recruitment week 0 and week 1. Let's see how it all went down.
We're going to take a look at some wide receivers. So what I typically look for in a wide receiver is either an elusive route runner or a good physical route runner. I'm also looking for height. I think that anyone that is pretty much under 6'4" is not going to be helpful to my team now. So Eli Dever, got a second-tier pipeline with him. I'm also going to add in this guy just for, I guess, safety. Better to have some multiple options. Right now, this team needs a lot of work, so I don't even know how well recruiting is going to go this season. I'm probably not going to get my top choices, maybe 1 or 2 of them, but I'm definitely going to be fighting the other guy. Alright, defensive tackle, probably. I like a raw strength, so we're gonna just add this guy. Ooh, already one of my friends is already fighting with me for another person, so this is going to be interesting. I'm not used to going up against users in recruiting, so there's probably gonna be a lot of frustration this season. Do you even have the option of looking at some 4 stars? Probably not. I mean, I could put them on my list, but there's not a guarantee. That can be scary. So I think we're gonna do a slow rebuild. It's gonna be looking at mostly 3-star recruits at this point. Speed rusher on the edge, I do like that. Power, that'll be helpful. Alright. Then, just immediately offering scholarships to probably going to run through the majority of my hours. That is the tough thing about starting a new rebuild. You don't have very many hours. Coastal Carolina's rocking a solid 500 hours to work with. Luckily, with the first week, all you can do is send out scholarships and scout, so any leftover points will just be put towards scouting these players and learning a little bit about them. I'm going to go with anyone who's, like, top 5 interested in me first, just to see if they're worth keeping on my board. Not a gem, but definitely worth keeping. Acceleration 89. Yeah, he's decent. Alright, my choices are pretty limited, so I'm trying to look at someone who's not being looked at by other users at this time. 20 points left. We're just gonna have to semi-recruit someone. If I can upgrade any of my coaching skills. This is who's picked their teams so far, and it's gonna be very interesting. As we're through all this, we'll have a first ever game in week 1.
I'd like to welcome you all to a beautiful day in Hawaii as we kick off football today with the Stanford Cardinal looking to take on the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors for domination in their first game of the season. Who will reign supreme? Find out today. Oh, look at the players coming out there, excited and ready to play. I'm going to kick off the recap. Let's see how it went. So, after a first drive that ended with a Stanford field goal, the Rainbow Warriors line up for their first drive that was unfortunately ended with an interception thrown by quarterback Micah Alejado.
The Rainbow Warrior defense then answered back with not one, but 2 back-to-back sacks on quarterback Elijah Brown. Which then forced a 3rd and long that ended up only getting a measly 7 yards, ending in a punt for Stanford out to Hawaii. On their next drive, the Rainbow Warriors had a beautiful play with Micah Alejado running outside and getting a good block and picking up 1st down. Later, Alejado would show off his arm with a beautiful pass to number 5 Pofele Ashlock, setting up the Rainbow Warriors for the first time at the goal line, where they capitalized with a beautiful run made by Landon Sims for a touchdown! Which would then lead us to the half. So at halftime, we have the Rainbow Warriors leading 7-3 in a fairly even game, with possession being mostly on Stanford's side. As we transition into the 3rd quarter, Micah Alejado, with a beautiful opportunity for a much-needed touchdown, throws a pass into double coverage, leading to an unfortunate interception! And the gloating begins. Look at him go. Would then lead their team to the goal line, where an unfortunate tackle would knock the ball out for a fumble, leading to a turnover. And Alejado wasn't done there with a beautiful pass down to Pofele Ashlock again. He breaks the tackle. He goes. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown! Which, after the point after attempt, would make the score Stanford 3, Hawaii 14. But it wasn't all rainbows for the Rainbow Warriors, as Micah Alejado again threw another interception, and breaking a tackle, they made it to Hawaii's 30. Unfortunately, Stanford would be unable to capitalize and have to settle for a field goal attempt on 4th and 9, which would end up good, making the score 6-14. Now, with 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter, Stanford would answer back with an absolutely beautiful pass made by number 15, Ben Gulbranson, out to number 0, Caden High! Now we transition to the last minute and 20 seconds of the 4th quarter, where Stanford has an opportunity on 1st and goal to get a run-in for a touchdown! With a minute and 19 seconds to go, Stanford elects to go for a 2-point conversion, looking to tie the game up. The ball is snapped. He looks to his left and finds his receiver, and the 2-point attempt is good! Stanford successfully ties the game up with 1 minute to go. The kickoff out to the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors was a beautiful return made for about 37 yards. The Rainbow Warriors still have a fair distance to get to field goal range, but a beautiful play made by Alejado out to his receiver gets them to the 32. The Rainbow Warriors would again try to throw out another deep pass that would unfortunately get swatted away, but Alejado then made a great pass to his receiver Harris, picking up many yards, going right down to the goal line, but getting stopped just before the end zone. So it comes down to this with the game on the line. We have the quarterback run out for an unfortunate attempt. On their 2nd attempt to run the ball in, they were unfortunately stopped at the 5-yard line again. And on 3rd down, they would receive an unfortunate flag for false start, bringing their hopes and dreams even further back and leading to a crucial decision. After one last attempt on 3rd down, the quarterback running out, not finding any options, throws it away, leading to a 4th down field goal. Which is good to end the game 17-14. Rainbow Warriors beat Stanford in a hellacious battle. Let's switch over now and check out the highlights from the UTSA versus Texas A&M game. Well, as Texas A&M gets ready to come out, it looks like rain as players are set for this
knockout, drag-out battle we are set to have today in Texas. The game starts on this rainy day with Texas A&M with their first drive. Their quarterback throws an absolute bomb down the field to get swatted down incomplete. That incompletion led to a punt on 4th and 7 out to UTSA. The punt goes out of bounds. UTSA's drive would eventually lead them to prime field position, where a beautifully executed jet sweep leads to a touchdown! Oh, don't look now. Number 28 Peterson is telling this Texas crowd how he feels about them. On their next drive, UTSA would showcase a beautiful third down conversion. Oh, with a wonderful spin move before being taken down. Next, UTSA would show us how to expertly execute a screen pass, oh, with a great juke, and get down to the goal line. Number 2 McCown again finds his man, which would lead to another touchdown, and UTSA up 14-0. And if McCown wasn't already having the game of his life, he gets to run one in for a touchdown of his own. So to recap, as we go into halftime, UTSA is up 21-0 over Texas A&M, and it's looking like a slaughter. As we find ourselves in the third, McCown again finds his man Peterson, who makes a great run, avoiding a person and just barely getting it in for a touchdown. UTSA has much to celebrate, but Texas A&M answers back in their own drive, getting their own touchdown and cutting the lead to 28-7. UTSA knew they had to answer back, but an unfortunate interception thrown by their quarterback leads to the end of their drive. Texas A&M now in control and looking to get a touchdown of their own, throws it deep, and it's a touchdown! Or is it? Upon further review, the call was overturned as the receiver did not have his feet in bounds. You would think this would deter Texas A&M, but they answer back on the next play with a beautiful pass for a touchdown, cutting the lead to 28-14. Followed by a beautiful run play by number 4, cutting through a line of men, and another touchdown, cutting the lead even further, 28-21. Time now for UTSA to respond. They managed to get down to the goal line with a beautiful pass made by the quarterback and another touchdown, widening the lead. It looks like lights out for Texas A&M, but with a beautiful long pass made by their quarterback for a touchdown, they cut the lead once more. Texas A&M goes for an onside kick. It's picked up by UTSA, and with 1 minute left, they kneel the ball for the victory. UTSA 35, Texas A&M 28. With that game in the books, let's head over now to the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers versus the Virginia Cavaliers. It's a beautiful day in Virginia as the Cavaliers make their way out onto the field. The crowd is going crazy for their team as the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers must overcome the odds away from home. We start with Virginia on their opening drive as Coastal Carolina has pushed them back to 3rd and 14. The quarterback lays out another shot and it's incomplete, leading to 4th down punt. Not a great start for the Cavaliers as Coastal Carolina picks up the punt and makes a short return at about the 25.
Unfortunately, Coastal Carolina wouldn't fare much better, doing a 3rd and 8 conversion, and unfortunately missing, incomplete. As bleak as the offense may look, the defense is holding true as Coastal Carolina again held the Cavaliers to a 3 and out. The punt looks good, up in the air. Grabbed again by Coastal Carolina for a short return. With 1st and 10 on their next drive, Coastal Carolina looked to show off some skills as QB Morris decided to run it out himself, gaining about 15 yards. That was the brightest spot of the drive, as soon after QB Morris would again try to throw a ball deep and unfortunately be intercepted, ending their drive. We cut to later on in the game, where a beautiful run play is executed by number 21. Oh, a wonderful block as he goes 30, 20, 10, and is just brought down! With that play over, we cut again as Simpkins runs in a play for a touchdown! Oh, Coastal Carolina up 7-0. It looks like Coastal Carolina is finding their footing as Morris finds Simpkins again, this time for a screen pass. Oh, and he's running, he's going, he's gonna make it, it looks like, but he gets stopped right at the 15. Coastal Carolina unable to do anything with the rest of that drive. We now cut to later on where the Cavaliers make this wonderful, beautiful play. Oh, he just steps out of bounds. And if that wasn't enough, on 3rd and 9, another wonderful pass leads to their touchdown, tying the game up 7-7. And it looks like Coastal Carolina is coming undone as Morris throws another interception. This one leads to a pick 6, which then makes the game 14-7. One of the few bright spots is this defense as at the goal line, they're managing to stop Virginia from making another big play. However, that would be it for the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers as the game ends 14-7, Cavaliers. With that game in the books, let's take a look at California versus Oregon State, our last game of the week. The kickoff goes out as Oregon State looks to return. The runner makes his way, cutting through. Oh, and it's a beautiful return for about 35. Oregon State gets to show off their speed with this wonderful play as number 0 makes his way up the field for a 25-yard run. And on 4th and 2, Oregon State tries to go for it. A beautiful pass that's laid out, and they succeed. Things are looking tricky on 2nd and 15, but the quarterback runs out with a perfect lane. He manages to make it 3rd and 6. Unfortunately, Oregon State was unable to capitalize on 3rd and 6, leading to a field goal attempt, which was good! 3-0. When it came time for California to respond, they had a 3rd and 5 shot, a beautiful pass thrown out, but unfortunately he's unable to make it to the line, 4th and 1. On 4th and 1, they go for a field goal attempt. And it's good! All tied up, 3-3. Oregon with a chance at the 6. Oh, but it's stuffed. But on 3rd down, they're given another chance, and it's thrown into the end zone for a touchdown! Oh, they're turning out the lights for him. Look at him celebrate. Oregon up 10-3 as they look to widen that lead. The quarterback dumps one out for a long pass that's caught and carried in for a touchdown! Oregon State up 17-3. The quarterback looks for a pass, but it's incomplete, leading to a field goal right before the half. Oregon State up 20-3. We move ahead to the 3rd quarter with California in possession. They execute a beautiful screen pass as he makes his way forward to about the 4. California 1st and goal on their 4-yard line. It's caught for a touchdown! Making the score Oregon State 20, California 10. But then, oh, a wonderful
wonderful sack leads to a field goal, cutting the lead further, 20 to California's 13. Oregon, however, would respond with a touchdown of their own as they run it in with number 21. And if you feel like you haven't seen your share of beautiful passes, I invite you to take a look at this one. A beautiful pass where he runs it all the way to the 8. And California's QB looking to get things done as he makes his own gap and runs it in for a touchdown! California elects to go for the onside kick. It is picked up swiftly by Oregon State as they run it back. Oh, it's looking good, and it's run out of bounds. They are not done yet as they look to further this lead with a beautiful... Oh, it's intercepted! But unfortunately for California, that is all she wrote as time ends. Oregon State 30, California 20. Well, that's it for week 0 and week 1. While I would have liked to see us secure a victory over Virginia, I'm still pretty impressed with how the team played overall. Specifically the defense, a shining example of a defense. They really held it together for 4 quarters, really only getting those 2 interceptions ruined me. But I think the loss is going to set us back in terms of recruitment. While I did foresee this happening, I know that this build is going to take a few years and not be a quick fix. Unfortunately, I was unable to capture footage for all the games played this week, so I'm going to go over those quickly right now. First off, Boise State came out on top 52-10 in their game against USF, a massive victory. The Rainbow Warriors played again and were successful in their second game of the season, overcoming Arizona 31-28 in another close game. Florida International beat FCS Southeast 62-13, but they won against an FCS team. Central Michigan lost on the road to San Jose State 14-16 in a very close game. That's it for this week. In our next video, we'll cover week 2 games and any major updates in recruitment. Thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for the next one.